Hi, everybody. My name is Marina Fay Jimenez, and this is my critical assignment for COM 306. It's going to be a potentiality case study on throwing an options fair. Now, I bet you're wondering, what's an options fair? An options fair is essentially set up the same way that a traditional college fair is set up, with booths, and in each of the booths, there are people there to answer questions, provide email addresses for anybody that's curious. But instead of schools, there would be options. And the options I would like to provide are companies that have representatives from places that will help pay for your school while you're working, people that have worked in the Peace Corps and the Green Corps, military recruitment, and people that have apprenticeship opportunities, and they would be able to come and provide information to high school students. I think this could essentially be a good thing, especially for my school district. The people I see helping me throw this options fair are all people that have let me know that they want to give back to their community in one way or the other. And they all have their own strengths, and because of it, I can see each of them having a very special role that we could definitely use on our team. It is these people on our team that I can see providing high communication that will make us highly proficient in achieving our goals, as Rothwell says. And it's also these people that have their special talents, like Dan is an instinctively accepting person, as Rath would explain it. I've had the pleasure of interacting with each of these people in a separate time in my life, and I know that each of their strengths are something that I've seen in action. And because of it, I believe that each of them would be very strong in a role that they were given. Now, the last person that would be on our team, I would like to think is me. I want to be able to be the initiator, contributor, and I have lots of ideas and suggestions that I want to give, but I don't think I would definitely be the leader. There's a theory called Theory Z, which essentially asks for each person to recognize their very own strength and use that strength to lead each of the other members in the organization. So, because of it, it requires a participative leader among the shared leaders to be decided by everybody else in a process of elimination. And in order for this process of elimination to work, we have to look at each of the members. So we're going to look at each of the members in the group, and I'm going to show you why I think that some of them may get knocked out in the process of elimination. So Anita and Eric are actually siblings, and both of them have a very strong command strength. And because of it, I think their voices might become too assertive. Dan and all agree are both too uninformed to take the lead, so it leaves me and Stacy. But the reason I knock myself out is because I know I would have no crisis mode. Since a good amount of them have never actually met each other in person, I see the uncertainty reduction theory coming into play. It's a theory that states that two strangers will use communication to find a common ground so to reduce any uncertainty between the two. And I would do that by hosting a lunch with all of them, bringing them together so we could talk about our common goals, which actually brings us into how we're going to avoid time pressures by sticking to a time frame. And we started with a time frame by starting at the beginning and at the end, which is the goal of the options fair, which I would essentially want to hold in September before people started applying for colleges. The informal meeting is that lunch I spoke about, and then we go down to the formal meeting, which would be at the beginning of July. We would define our goals and we would talk about how we are going to work together as a group. After that, we would have virtual communication, and that would help us decide if we ever needed an emergency meeting in the between. The formal meeting at the end of July will help us finalize our decisions, and then we will go back to virtual communications. Our next meeting would be in August, where we would look for hurdles at the formal meeting, and by the end, we would be able to come to the beginning of the week before the options fair in order to finalize all our vendors. Now, this brings us to how our group dynamics are going to work. We would essentially want to have a positive synergy between one another. This synergy requires three parts. This positive synergy is important for us to achieve our goal. The first part of the three is going to be for us to all have the same goals and motivations to get to the finish line. The second part requires all of the members to realize that this is a group effort and not an individual effort. It also requires that there is a substantial variation of strengths between all of us. And because of this, this will help us all succeed together. We're all different, but we can come together and help make this a reality. In Acts 4:23, we are called to share everything we have. All the believers were one in heart and mind. No one claimed that any of his possessions were his own, but they shared everything they had. I definitely feel like I have a strong developer strength. And because of it, I feel like I am called to help develop as many people in my community as possible. So I want to be able to share that with others. Thank you for watching.